the most intelligent computer in the world, called Google's neural network. They fed it pictures of the surface of the moon. Every Apollo picture it said was fake.
What was the scariest moment of the journey?
Scariest? It didn't happen.
I remember my parents waking me up and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon.
No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation.
I perpetrated a huge fraud, okay, involving the United States government and NASA, that the moon landing was fake, and I was the person who filmed it.
We're back with another one. We're diving into some of the strangest, weirdest videos on the web. Don't move a muscle, let's dive straight in.
Lockdown has commenced.
The final transmission, we are going underground.
A NASA employee saying that there's this huge field of radiation that surrounds the Earth that most people don't know about. It's 30,000 miles thick. Every manned mission has been well below that, except going to the moon. And the technology to go through the radiation to the moon and survive has not been invented yet.
My name is Kelly Smith, and I work on navigation and guidance for Orion. We are headed 3,600 miles above Earth, 15 times higher from the planet than the International Space Station. As we get further away from Earth, we'll pass through the Van Allen belts, an area of dangerous radiation. Radiation like this could harm the guidance systems, onboard computers, or other electronics on Orion. Naturally, we have to pass through this danger zone twice, once up and once back. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
So let me get this straight. Today's NASA says the tech that would get us through the Van Allen belts is still being developed. But somehow, in 1969, with tin foil and duct tape, we strolled right through that deadly radiation like it was a trip to Tesco's. All right, grab your shovel, we're going down this rabbit hole.
Lady in the second row, just there with blonde hair. And we'll go to the gentleman waving his hand upwards. What was the scariest moment of the journey?
Scariest? It didn't happen. It could have been scary.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
Because we did go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen.
I remember very clearly, I think anybody who was alive at the time does, I remember my parents waking me up and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon.
No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation. So you associated what you saw with...
I have very hazy memories.
I know.
Well, there we have it. The guy himself, Neil Armstrong, basically saying in multiple clips, it never happened. Honestly, I should have saved this clip till the end and had a nice cold pint ready.
If you really went to the moon and spent $200 billion, you would never destroy the technology. But one of the clips we have is them saying that they intentionally destroyed all of the equipment to go to the moon. All the diagrams, all the hardware, all the schematics, all the original telemetry of where the rocket was at the time, and all the original videotapes. Ron Howard's grandfather warned him the moon landings were fake. He didn't listen. He wanted to make an IMAX movie. He went to NASA, said, give me all the originals so I can transfer it to HD, and project it at 120 feet wide. They said, give us a couple of days. And in those days, they lost every single original videotape from every single Apollo mission. Now, if you really went to the moon and spent $200 billion, the last thing you would do is destroy that technology. But if you perpetrated a fraud, that's exactly what you would do.
Videotapes, gone. Telemetry data, gone. Physical evidence, gone. I think you get the picture. We spent hundreds of billions of dollars, but yet the whole thing never actually happened. Because it didn't. It's starting to feel less like history, but yet the greatest magic trick ever.
God damn it. Your left hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walk on the moon?
Mr. Sarbo.
Yes? If you really walked on the moon, why would you not do that? So why don't you just put the end to the record in the argument and put your hand on the Bible, swear to God you walked on the moon?
Mr. Sarbo, knowing you, that's probably a fake Bible.
Really? Well, no, it's the real Bible. You have the opportunity to have $5,000.
The media is not hope.
Well, you have $5,000 cash. You can give it to charity if you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon. I have a date.
It'd be fine.
Why don't you why not? Why won't you do it? So why don't you put your hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
Mr. Sarbo isn't a fool of himself in front of the world. Mr. Sarbo, you do not deserve.
Now I get it. Maybe Neil's just fed up of being asked all the time if he actually went to the moon. But if it actually happened, wouldn't you just swear on the Bible just to shut everyone up? The hesitation is suspicious. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.
There are 4 incontrovertible proofs that we didn't go to the moon. Each one by itself would prove it in a court of law. Now, I'm a filmmaker. A filmmaker's job is to make fake scenes look real. They claimed that on the moon it's 20 times brighter than a desert on Earth at noon because there's no atmosphere. So the last thing you would need in a picture on the moon would be electrical lighting. This is a picture I took outside in sunlight. You can do this yourself, and you can see the shadows always run parallel. It's mathematically and scientifically impossible for shadows in sunlight to ever intersect. Impossible. Is a picture they claim was from the last, quote, mission to the moon, where an astronaut shadow is at 12 o'clock and a rock 5 feet away is intersecting at 9 o'clock at 90 degrees. That is an electrical light that is very, very close to those objects. That proves in a court of law that that picture on the right was taken with a very close electrical light, which means they're on Earth, which means they did not go to the moon. That's it. We just proved the moon landing was fake in one photograph.
Well, I'm certainly no photographer or shadow expert. He sounds pretty convincing. If anyone out there can disprove his theory, I'm all ears. Alright, this next clip deserves a bit of context. If you're younger than me, lucky bastards, you may know that rumour about Stanley Kubrick himself. The genius behind 2001, The Shining, and many more, was hired to stage the moon landing. I'll leave it there. Take a look at this.
I perpetrated a huge fraud, which I am now about to detail.
Okay.
Involving the United States government and NASA.
All right.
And I'm sure you've heard the rumors.
The moon landing?
That's right. That the moon landing was fake. The moon landings all were fake. And I was the person filmed it.
You're serious? Okay.
I'm serious and dead serious.
Because I only have this certain amount of time with you, and I'll talk about whatever you want. You know, this isn't some type of joke or film within a film thing.
Not a joke. Nope.
Okay.
The conspiracy theorists were right on this occasion.
Why?
I don't know about Paul McCartney's death, but we're at it.
Okay. Why in God's name would... I don't know what to ask you first. Why the hell, if you're telling the truth, why would you do it? Why are you telling me? I mean, what the...
Don't you think it's important for people to know the truth?
Yeah, I guess. Certainly.
They got a massive fraud, an unparalleled fraud perpetrated against them. They should know.
Okay.
I mean, they're already suspicious.
If this is real, it changes everything. Unless this is some kind of double bluff. Real or fake? You decide.
The moon landing one's my favorite.
Really?
I think with the moon landing, it's way more likely that we went to the moon, but that some of the footage is fake. Some squirrely footage. You ever see the video of them jumping around? It looks like they're on trampolines.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Watch this. Look at this. Watch these guys bounce up in the air. It's like they're on some sort of wire, like they're being yanked up into the air.
Oh, yeah.
If you watch, sometimes they're falling down, and when they're falling down, it looks like they get yanked back up. Like, homeboy falls down, and then it looks like he gets yanked back up. Look at this. Whoops.
Oh, he did not. That is not him standing up.
Yeah, what is this?
That's not
Look.
him standing up. You can't stand up like that.
Right, but you're on the moon. Okay,
Nah,
so you realize you're in
nah.
1/6 Earth's gravity.
But there was nothing to make him go like this.
Exactly.
Right? You can't.
Watch this
You have
again.
to turn to your base to get up. You can't look at. There's nothing on the ground. How's he going to get the momentum?
He's getting
to go?
yanked up. Like he would have super abs. He would have to be like a
No, you
break dancer.
can't because. Okay, maybe a breakdancer. Maybe a breakdancer. But you can't get up without putting a base down, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really weird. I
It's
never
very
thought
weird.
about it.
In
And he only
the
had one
press-
foot on the ground there too.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's true. Look at this. Watch.
So he stood up
Ooh,
like.
Look at that. It's ridiculous.
You can't do it.
What? His right foot's down, his left foot's up, and he just goes straight up in the air. It is
that's
crazy.
That's fake.
But I've never been in 1/6 Earth's gravity in either of you.
No,
so maybe it's
Joe,
easier
it's
to
fake,
do.
dude. You can't stand up like that.
You think that's
You
fake?
ca- That
Dan
video.
Askren says we never went to the
Joe Rogan's right. The way those astronauts fall, it's like there's a guy off camera with a fishing rod trying to reel those guys back in. NASA, it's more like NASA's Got Talent. Next video, please.
Look at this. As he hops by, he doesn't touch the flag.
It's because there's micrometeorites hitting him and they're bouncing off of him and hitting the flag. Moon landings are real. Do you like that one?
That is a good one.
Actually, Von Braun, we found publications of his. Mind you, my film cost $1 million. It was financed by a board member of an aerospace company who builds rockets for NASA, who knows it's fake, who gave me $1 million to produce these films. We found documentation from Von Braun that says every 24 hours on the moon, there's a 50% chance of a catastrophic, deadly error because of decompression from a micrometeorite. So they were there 3 days. They were 150% chance they would have been killed from a micrometeorite. Grain of sand traveling through space at 25,000 miles an hour. And he said you would have to immediately go into a cave once you landed.
So, we're meant to believe micrometeorites are moving the flag. Surely, if those things were bouncing off the astronaut, it would pierce his suit and it would be game over, right? I'm no astrophysicist, but come on.
Like how goofy it looks when that craft lifts off from the moon and takes off into space. It's wobbling around like it's on a fucking string.
Looks like it's on a string, and
It looks so fake.
the camera tracks it nicely.
Yeah, pans.
But
from where?
From
Houston?
Earth, from Houston
Yeah.
with the 7-second delay
Yeah.
or whatever
How about the fact that Nixon is on the phone with them
in real time.
in real time? Like, you know what kind of delay there would be with 1969 technology communicating, like, and then.
Well, let's go back and look at the original films, and maybe we'll learn something.
Oh, they don't have them anymore.
Gone.
They're gone.
They
Oh,
don't
what
know.
about the telemetry data? That's really important.
Gone.
Oh.
With the episode I did on the moon, which is a fun one, I even have a NASA scientist saying we don't know how to redo the technology. We just lost it.
Yeah.
Didn't write anything down.
The lunar liftoff looks fake as hell. And seriously, who was filming it? Think about it. Who was filming it? They claim it was captured remotely. But with 1950s, 60s tech, no sir. Not buying it.
Isn't it amazing that our technological and scientific achievements are so great that members of the civilization that created it are in denial? What a compliment to how far that technology has come. We have warehouses of engineering drawings trying to get this Saturn V off the ground. You saw the launch. You can calculate how much fuel is in that rocket. The rocket is 36 stories tall and the astronauts are up here. And the rest of that is fuel. It's a controlled bomb. And then they launch. To fake all of that would require so much effort that you might as well just do it. Where do you think it was going? To the Piggly Wiggly? To get groceries? Where do you think this rocket was going? I'm sorry, I'm screaming at you here. Sorry.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Bloody party pooper. Always rolling in with the science. Piss off.
Have you really thought about what it would take to fake a moon landing? Because the rocket did launch. We all saw the rocket launch, okay? So there's hardware there. They're like office buildings of blueprints for the design of the Saturn V rocket. The hundreds of engineering hours that went behind this and the records of those designs. If you wanted to fake the moon landing, you would have to fake all of these documents. And it just seems to me it's way easier to just go to the moon. Has anyone considered that? Just go to the moon. that easier than faking all of this. So, no, yeah, we went to the moon.
Another debunk. Great. That's the last time I'm having him on the show. But how could they fake that? I mean, the offices, the blueprints, the spaceships, the media, billions in production. Well, they managed to somehow, didn't they? Because it's fake.
When you looked up at the sky, could you actually see the stars and the solar corona in spite of the glare?
We were never able to see stars from the lunar surface or on the daylight side of the moon by eye without looking through the optics. I don't recall during the period of time that we were photographing the solar corona what stars we could see.
Is that all I'm ever gonna get from you guys? Bullshit? Oh, ask a silly question.
I don't remember seeing any.
Small problem. They use stars to help them navigate to the moon.
The astronaut navigator finds a known star in the wide-angle telescope. Using a fingertip control, he changes the attitude of the spacecraft to bring the star into line. Once he has the star in position in the telescope, he moves the optical sextant. He lines the sextant up with the star and makes a reading.
On Earth, even with our thick atmosphere, the sky looks like this. But on the moon, with no air, the sky is just black? Shouldn't the sky be full of stars? NASA really thought this one through. If you're going to hoax something in space, the stars are a big problem. This is because by using a star map, you can not only get the precise location a photo was taken, you can even get the precise day and time. So they had to get rid of the stars.
So, 0 stars in the sky, but the stars apparently were crucial for navigation. Yeah. It's just something isn't added up.
Does anyone actually still watch the moon landing footage and think it's real?
Yes, we've had a problem. Main B, bus undervolt. Roger, main B undervolt. Stand by at 13, we're looking at it. Okay, right now, Houston, the voltage is looking good.
Watching them hop around like that, I'm sorry, but it's just impossible not to laugh. It's given low-budget pantomime and not one giant leap for mankind.
Some say the 1969 moon landing was a hoax, claiming all the footage was filmed on a soundstage. Conspiracy theorists point to several inconsistencies in the photos, one of the most talked about being the deep footprints left on the moon's surface. As we all know, the moon is a vacuum, and in a vacuum, there's no moisture. So in theory, it shouldn't be possible to leave such defined footprints without something to bind the dust together. To investigate the claim, Tori got 2 bags of fine sand. One was baked in a dryer to remove all moisture, while the other was sprayed with water. Then, Carrie put on a replica of the Apollo moon boot and stepped once on each type of sand. Unsurprisingly, the print in the moist sand was much clearer. But since a vacuum might affect how soil behaves, they took the experiment further by heading to NASA's Space Center to use their vacuum chamber. Even better, the lab had actual lunar soil samples and real moon boots, making the test results much more credible. Once everything was set up, Tori used a mechanical device to press the moon boot into the lunar soil inside the vacuum chamber. The result? A surprisingly crisp and well-defined footprint. At this point, a NASA expert stepped in to explain. Lunar soil is fundamentally different from Earth's. Here on Earth, sand is smoothed by wind and water erosion, giving it rounded edges. But on the moon, there's no wind or water, so the grains stay jagged and angular, making them easier to compress and hold shape. That's why astronauts could leave deep footprints. It's not only possible, it's scientifically sound. So in the end, the myth was busted.
All right, fair enough. They think they've debunked it. But look closely at the footprint versus the astronaut's boots. Different patterns, different shapes. It's not even close. Could be real, could be a hoax. Have a look at the pictures and make your own mind up.
The moon landing.
Yes.
I go back and forth, dude.
I do too.
I think that we were on the moon. I'm debating if the footage that we have of the first Apollo mission, I see stuff and I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I saw a video today of someone pointing out this spacecraft that they were in landed on the moon, and they had pictures and videos of that spacecraft on the moon. But this jet propulsion system that braked them from like crashing into the moon was like the soft landing. There's no burnt, there's no crater, there's like nothing underneath it. It's flat sand. You're like,
what's going on? What? There's been times where it's like, I'm solely convinced, like, I'm like, oh man, they're using green screens, they're using all this stuff.
Now, we obviously have gone to the moon, but was it rushed? Because wasn't it like there's like a huge historically
with Russia?
Yeah, it would make sense that we do act like we went first or something like that. But obviously, we went to the moon. We obviously did these things, but did it happen the way we think it did?
It's kind of crazy how there's no debris from the lunar landing, and the surface under the lander is perfectly flat. You'd think it'd be a right mess under there, right? I'm no moon landing expert, so I'll let you decide.
The most intelligent computer in the world, called Google's neural network. And it has a deep fake detector program that's never been wrong. You can feed it a video of Biden or Trump. It'll tell you in 1 second whether it's real or not. They fed it pictures of the surface of the moon from the unmanned Chinese probes from 2014. Said they're real. Every Apollo picture it said was fake. It had a fake backdrop. It was taken in a television studio. That's the most intelligent computer in the world who can understand the pixels. One of them, it suggested that this wasn't even a full-size lunar module, that it was a miniature. And that's how they were able to do wide landscapes, because one of the astronauts' figures, the AI said, was a miniature because the footsteps, shadows, weren't normal the way a person would walk, that they were stamped in there with a fake footprint.
Now this is interesting. The most advanced AI on the planet looks at the moon pictures and says they're either fake or modified. I mean, doesn't that pretty much settle the case? God damn it.
I know for a fact that you did. I know for a fact that you did not.
You know for a fact that we did not.
That's correct. And you'll see this tape from...
Okay, well, I'm not interested in satisfying your suppositions when there's all this evidence that we did.
This proves, as you see, that you're using the window to demonstrate that you were halfway to the moon when you were...
Turn the camera off, please.
Sunlight from entering
Turn the camera off.
through the other windows.
You're full of shit.
It shows that you're in Earth orbit. Now, if the moon is 3 days away, and this is late on the 18th, how could you possibly walk on the moon 2 days later when this was shot on the 18th?
You want me to sit in front of a camera while you're taking pictures, you're showing this, and then you want to see my reaction?
I know for a fact.
That's slimy journalism. Do you realize that? You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
That I have in here, you'll find that it's not. But this is a personal plea to do what is right.
Well, we sit and we talk about things ahead of time.
The document that you want to see.
Place the camera at the back of the spacecraft.
I know for a fact.
But what it is you're trying to do is unethical. You don't believe that?
It is completely...
No, I do not.
With the Earth in low...
And then we have a difference of opinion.
The circumference of the window...
This is where you're using the window and spacecraft to appear to be the Earth farther. We got the raw footage of it. We have an auxiliary track, so I'm prompting you.
That is where they want to build to.
You believe in UFOs?
No,
you think we've been visited by... Well, why do you want to believe this?
I know for a fact. They've had this analyzed. And this is the window. And you're in a stated by an atomic clock at the Goldstone tracking station that was on the tape.
Well, you're talking to the wrong guy. Why don't we talk to the administrator at NASA? We're passengers. We're guys going on a flight.
I know for a fact that they... And this tape would prove it in court of law.
Subsequent.
It would.
Never used.
It would.
Try. Why don't you put your money into a court of law and see how people laugh at you? You want it?
No one is laughing.
Camera working?
No one is laughing.
And this makes you the real famous person who has discovered this and reveals all this stuff. What an ego you must have to want to propel yourself like this.
That's not why I'm doing it, and God knows that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for the truth to come out because I think it was wrong.
Seeing Neil being asked about the moon again, the defensiveness is baffling. If it actually happened, you think he'd be proud and calm and wanting to defend his legacy every single time. Instead, it just feels odd.
And reality fell as the ISS astronaut on the left grabs nothing from the other astronaut and sets nothing down. I love the guy in the background that is zooming around here on a harness back and forth. This wasn't a good day for NASA. And I think I just caught a new mistake. Maybe someone else has already pointed it out. But do you remember this disappearing astronaut? It's a continual shot. And so the naysayers can't claim that it's just splicing two clips together. But here's a similar one, just not as obvious. Do you see how his foot becomes see-through? Anyways, I could go on for days, on all the space fakery from all the different nations. Unmistakable, permed hair that flows nothing like it should in a zero-G environment. Bubbles in space, repeated CGI mistakes. Obvious use of harnesses and wire fails. Evident use of blue screen technology. The reckless playing with water. The fact that the ISS was never assembled on the ground for extensive testing before it went into space. The impossible longevity of the valves and seals in space. A mistaken reflection of a cameraman off of a cosmonaut's visor, etc. But in the end, it really depends on whether you will allow yourself to investigate the matter. The bottom line is, if they can lie about the Apollo moon missions, the Columbia missions, satellites, ISS, or space, then they could lie about everything.
Oh man, this is hilarious. The bloke in the background is being held up like he's Cinderella in some kind of budget pantomime. And the way that other guy just disappears, unless he's wearing Harry Potter's invisibility cloak, that's 100% fake.
Hier is het Amerikaanse toilet en dat is interessant. Het is hetzelfde toilet als bij de Russen, maar interessante systemen. Hier achter deze panelen wordt de urine opgevangen en
If the previous clip didn't convince you, this one's a masterpiece. You can literally hear a nut or a bolt fall to the floor. That's not zero gravity, that's lots of gravity. This just keeps getting better and better. Roll the next one, please.
And it's just a toy gyroscope, really. But of course, in zero gravity, if you knock it, it's going to tumble, it's going to move around like any object up here does. However, if I get this spinning, just give me a second.
You can clearly see a green screen in the background for that recording. I mean, why would they even have that? And why leave it so obvious when they know the cameras are rolling? Are they trying to tell us something or just slipping up? Let me know what you think in the comments.
When you see that little hurricane, you're pretty.
Oh. What is that? They're supposedly in space, right? That's zero G. Am I tripping? I guess things fall in zero G. I've heard so much cope for this video, bro. Like, oh, well, no, he threw it down. No, he didn't throw anything, bro. What are you talking about? He's holding a little blow-up fake globe, and he dropped it. He dropped it. So this is a major problem. I think it's funny to watch the dude to the left. He's awful. He should be fired. He can't keep a straight face at all. Like, he totally gives it away. So the question was about hurricanes or something. He drops, he's like, oh no. She's like, don't get it. She's like, don't pick it up. That is so funny. So this is one of maybe like 1,000 that we have, but we'll go through some more. Scuba tank inside here. See that scuba tank? That's because they're in a pool. And so that's a whole rabbit hole. There's a real size ISS replica in a pool in Houston. They admittedly trained there. That's where this film is actually coming from.
Oh, bollocks. With the billions they get every year, you'd think they'd nail the basics, right? Like remembering there's no gravity in space. Not exactly reassuring now, is it? Anyway, on to the next clip, meow son.
Space crew attempted a spacewalk outside the station. Here's a live look at the astronaut. Well, I don't believe that. Yeah, we.
Where's your spacesuit?
This is why live TV never goes to plan. Looks like they were still building the set and got the timing completely wrong. Never ceases to amaze me. Only in the USA, right?
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
Funny, we lost the tapes, lost the technology, and I'm starting to lose my mind. God damn it. Let's take a look at the next one.
This is the first time we're going to send humans to the moon, and we're going to have humans in low Earth orbit. That is awesome. Like, we should, as humanity, we should take a brief moment to go, that's awesome. One of the things that we most asked for and look forward to is we are going to do a crew conference between Integrity and the International Space Station, the crew that's up there. And I will tell you, our friends that are on Crew 11 and our friends that are getting ready to launch on Crew 12 are arm wrestling between the station and home to see who gets to be in space when they talk. Like, they're as fired up as we are, and I did not expect that.
And on that note, mate, I'm done. The moon landing never happened. Thanks for sticking with me through the madness. Drop your thoughts below. Hit that like button, and if you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and turn your notifications on so you don't miss an episode. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and remember, the truth is out there. See you in the next one.